talk a little bit more about hard mode and is this game fun? Yes, it is. But after you play it for a while, it does start to become monotonous. One of the most fun things is rescuing vehicles that turn over on hard mode. Right here. Hold on, let me turn the engine off. Even sitting at idle, I'm burning 1 gallon a minute. Every gallon counts on hard mode because it costs money. 16 bucks a gallon to be exact. That's the cheapest I can purchase gas unless I can find some free fuel, which I have so far. So what I'm doing is rescuing my Voron Grad, which flipped onto its side, while trying to return this Scout fuel trailer to its destination. As you can see, it only has about 24 gallons left. That's good. There's 10% left of what's the Scout fuel's total fuel can contain. You see here. 238 gallons, 10% of that rounded up is 24. That's the minimum amount, or I should say the maximum minimum amount you're allowed to have for it to work. So free fuel is so awesome on hard mode. That is exciting. That is exciting when you find free fuel. It's not necessarily free, but you get what I mean. Most maps it's 16 bucks a gallon. On the beginning maps it's 8 bucks a gallon, and you have to put that into your profit margins, which are very low on hard mode. So this is kind of fun. I thought about using this truck here, which has a crane, but I want to keep it where it's at right now. Whoops, I accidentally started the engine. I want to keep it where it's at right now, and besides, it only has less than half a tank, as you can see. So that's not a good choice to go rescue. So the best choice I think I have is this Tega, which is comparable to the Voron Grad. Excuse me, I have to sneeze. So you were warned. Oh, good thing I'm home alone. I didn't have to cover my mouth that time because I'm home alone. Boy, that was stupid. Okay, let's go rescue this truck. Now, to teleport it back to the garage would cost 5,000 bucks on hard mode. Whoops, you know what I need to take care of? The settings menu. Because every time I reload this, for some reason this does not get saved. So I turn first person and third person field of view all the way up. Except, now if I try to zoom out, this is believe it or not, that's as far as I can zoom out. I know it's not far, but it's almost mandatory playing this game to be able to zoom out as far as you can. I don't know why it doesn't let you zoom out further, but it is what it is. Wait, am I going the right way? I think I just lost my way. Because it's dark out. I may have to veer to the right a little bit. Where did that hill come from? I don't remember it. So is hard mode fun? Yes, it is. Because for some reason, running out of money and having to restart your entire campaign over from scratch after playing it for months and months, the excitement is there. I'm only down to $100,000. When I first began at this map, I had about 230,000. And then I went and spent money on the Voron Grad, which cost me about 120,000, including the upgrades. All the bells and whistles, which is the truck I'm going to rescue right now. And I figured, why not? Use this truck here. It's close enough, and it has a fuel source. And it's powerful enough to make it through this rough terrain. It's basically in the same family as the truck I'm rescuing. This Tega here. It's only $5,000 less to purchase it from the shop. And of course, this one is the one everyone gets when you find it in Russia. So as you can see, this is pretty rough terrain. This map doesn't play. And of course, everybody knows what this map is. It's that. I'm not going to pronounce it, but that's not what it is. It's just a coincidence. The Kola Peninsula in Russia is the map I chose to do next. And for the sake of argument, let's take a look. Now, as you can see, my real name is blurred out. But don't try to look for me on PlayStation. I don't really want friends. I like having friends, of course, but I don't want friends on PlayStation. That's just too annoying. Too old for that. No offense to anybody out there. So as you can see, I've done Russia, 63%. I need to go back there. There's a lot to do, a lot to be made, a lot of money to be made. Alaska, I'm done with. I did all the logging, pretty much everything. The only thing I have left to do is find some more upgrades. Michigan, 79%, that's all I did. I didn't do the logging in Michigan because I didn't understand logging. So I skipped it. Now for me to go back and do logging now, I would only profit about $15,000. That's if no mistakes are made. Because I still have plenty of fuel in Michigan, but the deployment fees to take the vehicles, plus I need to rebuy the logging trailer because I haven't found the new logging vehicle yet that came out with that has come with the next update, which is in Maine. Because I just don't have a powerful enough assortment of vehicles to do Maine yet. See, I own 21 vehicles. I have maybe 2 or 3 of them that are actually good work trucks. The rest of them are just support vehicles. And some of them just don't have the power anymore to do these tougher maps, because the maps get tougher as you go along. Michigan, even though it's the beginning map, is still kind of tough. Alaska, I found out to be very easy. There's so much fuel in Alaska, it's ridiculous. You will never run out of fuel in Alaska. So do everything in Alaska. All the fuel is free. So free fuel is how to make money on hard mode. If you're constantly having to purchase fuel, your contract payments better be enough to cover the fuel costs. And I found out the profit margins are anywhere from 10 to 25, tops maybe 35%. After everything is said and done, after all the overhead, which isn't much. If you have to do rescue missions like I'm doing right now, that cuts into fuel. Wisconsin, I've done completely. I did all the logging, all the missions that I wanted. Some of them were skipped because they just weren't worth the time. I took into account the fuel costs, the payout that the contract gives, plus the risks, and if they're not in line with each other, I don't even bother doing them unless it's mandatory for the game. Some missions are mandatory. As you can see, I've Amur, which I heard can take months to accomplish. Dawn, I haven't done yet, but I hear it's fun. I think that's in Canada. Maine, here in America, that's the recent update, which has the new logging truck, which is going to be nice. But I just haven't done it yet. So my total investment to go back to Michigan would be just $28,000 right off the bat, not including a truck to come along and carry fuel with. So that is an additional $7,000. So $21,000 plus $14,000 is $35,000 per map investment in logging for the 2 vehicles, the one that pulls the short logs, the long logs, possibly the crane. Usually I found out the crane, the truck for the log cranes is usually left best for rescue missions, because most maps don't have enough logging missions to justify the purchase of a logging crane on hard mode. Of course, on regular mode, none of this matters. I want to drive up here over these rocks. Do not flip. That would be another $5,000 mistake, plus the fuel I'm burning. So the excitement of hard mode is always there. It's just that the boredom kicks in after about 3 months. For me, anyway. Some people, well, I hate when the camera does that. That's not me doing that. Apologize for that. You know, on regular mode, nothing costs money. There's no consequences on regular mode. That's why I don't play regular mode. I know I had another point, but I forgot. My train of thought is gone. This truck's a little bit too big to be doing this. Which, by the way, all-wheel drive and the differential lock are always on. Here, this looks like a good spot here. If the camera would quit messing with me. There we go. Now the camera's back to normal. This looks like a good spot here. So that's what makes hard mode fun, is the possibility of having to restart my game completely from scratch. Which, of course, me being me, there'd be no way I would do that. So that's what makes it fun. I would actually forget SnowRunner completely and go to a completely different game entirely if I was put in a position where I had to start over. And that's if you run out of money. When I first started playing this game, this campaign, there's only been 2 campaigns I've done. This big truck is getting stuck too easily. What? This big truck is getting stuck. Maybe I can pull forward it. So now some trucks would be able to just break that tree and plow right over it. That did kind of straighten me out though here. I'm going to use that. Back up. I've been in Wisconsin, for example. I had to spend like $120,000 before I started making a profit because of the deployment fees. Now, whoa, there I just, oh gosh. That was just ridiculous how close that was. See, this is where hard mode gets scary. This is the only time hard mode seems to be fun, is when you're driving down roads where a flip can mean a rescue mission, and then if that truck flips, you need a third truck to go rescue those 2 that flipped. And then that third truck, if it flips, then that gets to the point where you almost want to rage quit. But you have to persevere. And then go with that 4th truck, which has happened to me before, and rescues all the 3 that turned over, and you save yourself from a complete embarrassment and having to restart the game. Now, I say this is my 2nd attempt on hard mode because the first attempt I'd only done 21 missions. I'd only done Michigan. And because it was my first playthrough, I didn't really understand the concepts of hard mode too well. I wound up running out of money. And the next point would have had to been to start selling vehicles, which is always a bummer. The only time you really want to sell a vehicle is when it becomes obsolete. And then even if you think it becomes obsolete, you're going to figure out one day that it does have a use. So I have an army of trucks. I have 21 of them, a mixture of, they're not all trucks, some of them are scouts. Here I am at the rescue location. I'm on the wrong side of the truck. This might be the way to do it. The way I flipped that is I was talking and driving at the same time, making a video just like I'm making now. But I decided to scrap that video and make another one and talk about some of the same things. I just want to pull that out of there first. I don't care how. And then I made that video yesterday. And then I got some comments, and it inspired me to keep playing. So thank you if you're watching. That really helped me motivate myself to play this game some more. I don't know why. It's just how I am. Now, I don't know if this is going to work. Yes, it is working quite nicely. Oh, that worked real well. And I like it because it didn't burn that much fuel. I've had some rescue missions where I'll burn 100 gallons just in the rescue part. But of course, I've gotten more skilled. I have gotten a lot more skilled, of course. Awesome! We can continue. So this mission is to deliver to the South Camp the scout fuel trailer, which I already showed everybody had 10% left. But I need to first, yes, give myself a plan of action here. Now I know I'm not going to go straight across here because that looks like some ice. So the pathway is going to be kind of random. So this is my destination. But it looks like to get there I'm going to have to still turn left here. And it doesn't pay that much. I'll show you. It's a side task called Pit Stop. It only pays $4,450. And this is where it was. It was near the garage at the beginning, which is nice. I used all the fuel I could out of it, which is nice. Now I have to return it here, which now I have. I'm almost there. But look at the payout. Now you can see why profit margins are so low on hard mode and why it's kind of fun, but also at the same time frustrating. But it's SnowRunner. What are you gonna say? There's just all people have tolerances for games up to the point where they get bored of them. I know in the song I said 2 months, but that was an exaggeration. I took about a 3-week break from this game. Now I'm playing it again, and it did kind of help. It did kind of help. Now this truck is pretty much the same as the Tega there, but it's a little bit shorter. Not just by about maybe 5% smaller total. But the wheelbase on the back is bigger, which makes it more sturdy, even though I did flip it. It's because I was talking and driving at the same time, doing what I'm doing right now. Which I don't do well in real life either. I have to really concentrate if I'm talking while driving. So it only pays $4,000. Now for all the fuel that I've burned, because you need a truck that's going to be tough enough. Whoops, I had to put it in all-wheel drive there, which I did. This truck doesn't have all-wheel drive and diff lock permanently on, which is nice. It does help with fuel costs. Not a lot, but when the road is smooth, I just take it out of all-wheel drive and then just drive with just a rear-wheel drive. And it does save on gas, or fuel, I should say. So I need to keep going this way. Try to find the road. Now that looks risky. That looks like someplace I could get stuck. The trees are just too close together, I think. It's a little bit too steep. And why not? I need to explore and get the quote-unquote fog of war, which is a term for games. I think a lot of you are familiar with fog of war, what that means. If not, look it up. It's a term for games, all types of games, even games of different genres. That's what that means. Information is everything. This looks like... Now I know it's flopping around like a fish there in the back, but the cool thing about fuel tankers, no matter what it is, what size it is, they don't get damaged. It brings an element to the game that can be exploited, but it is what it is. I did try to load this small scout trailer on that flatbed with the crane that I have there. As you can see, I have a crane. I did try to, and I had it on there, and then I tried to use the option to pack it in place, but there was no option for this trailer, the scout fuel trailer. Now either I didn't have it up there as best as I could, or it just can't be done. Just in case anybody was wondering. I'm going to keep giving myself these markers because the road is kind of hard to see. And the road, you sometimes have to deviate from it. Alright then. We're almost there. Now the payout that this mission gives barely covers the fuel costs. If I was to estimate how much fuel it's taking me to do this mission, it would at least be 150 gallons, because you have to include the other vehicle that was used to rescue. Look at the fuel. Look at the fuel consumption rate that I'm going through. But that's the kind of trucks you need for this map. So there's no sugarcoating it on hard mode. It's very difficult, which just makes it fun. If it wasn't for hard mode, I wouldn't be playing this game at all. Period. I would be playing a completely different game. I don't know what genre it would be. But hard mode is what sealed the deal. Of course, I played regular mode for a week. 7 days just to learn the game. And got extremely bored. Because pretty much, for lack of a better term, and to sum it all up correctly, and I'm not exaggerating, money grows on trees. Not really, but it's the best way to explain it on regular mode. For many, many reasons that I don't need to get into. That's another video entirely. But I can tell you from watching other YouTube videos for those that play on regular mode, they have 6-figure, 7-figure stashes of cash. Cool, we got another objective here. Oh, I always turn the engine off when I read these. I think you can help. It has been 50 years or so since I left this area. There was a village. I know it's empty, but I would like to know whether any of the houses are still standing, or did we leave no trace? It pays $2,150. Are you joking? At fuel at $16 a gallon, if I have to pay for it, which eventually I think I'm going to have to. Like I say, I spend 150. If you take 150 gallons, which is just an estimate, it's a rounded up estimate. I know it's not that much, but I know it was more than 100. So I just say 150. It sounds about right. It all averages out eventually. That number is $3,400. 150 gallons of fuel is $2,400. I'm sorry. I had to do the math in my head. So if this mission right here, the overhead then, wow, I ran over that axe and that stump there. I didn't think it would do that. So it's cool that some of the objects are interactable. All right, so $4,450. I made $2,000 profit. So that's about 35%, 40% profit margin. But at least it's something. Another objective, turn the engine off. And I do that because that way I can take my time and read it. It just makes me paranoid to hear my engine running, burning fuel, wasting it, just sitting there idle, not being able to concentrate on what I read. So that's something I always do on hard mode. And it pays, wow, $3,000. Oh my gosh. I don't know if I can contain myself. Sarcasm off. People may say what they want, but it is so much easier working here in winter. Yeah, I like winter too, but you should have capitalized the W in winter there, if you're talking specifically about the season. You do not drown in the mud. You can cross the river just about anywhere. By the way, would you like to check your route to the North Camp? I have no idea what they just said, but I activated it. Now you can see how I activated it, meaning I need to do that, otherwise I won't have the task anymore. Even though you need to grab the tasks when you see them, otherwise you can't do the mission. I know it's weird, but it didn't actually start the mission. I think there's another one here. Cool. More money, more money, more money. This map does have a lot of missions to help make up the difference. Now here you go, 8,350 bucks. That's the kind of stuff that's the kind of missions I like to see. But there's going to be a catch. There always is. Greetings, nope, it says, I'm sorry. Great timing. We need to transfer supplies to the other two camps, and we're at a loss. It's not much. A couple of crates full of stuff, instruments, spare parts, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. You know the deal. Will you do it? Of course I will. Now, even though I hit accept, the mission is not activated. There it gives you the option to start tracking. But to do that, you hit the big square rectangle in the middle of the PlayStation 4 controller. Scroll over to tasks. You don't want to go over to where objects are and do it that way. It doesn't really... See here? It doesn't really display it. You want to hit one more over, R1. There. That's how you actually find it. So there's two different menus. Be aware of that. So service spare parts ×2, one to the north camp and one to the east camp, which is in the fog of war. Now sometimes these service spare parts, I have to first find them. But it looks like I can purchase these spare parts. But so far I have not found any, not actually purchase, but load up from a crane onto a truck the service spare parts, which I need to find out where to pick them up from. I don't know yet. I need to study this map some more. But there you go. Oh, there's another one. Oh, I thought it was further out. It's the same one. So as you can see, my engine is not running. Every time the engine is running, it is sitting there idle. It's eating into profits. Every gallon of fuel has to go towards earning money. But look at the detail and the damage. It's even got the flatbed truck there, which was the little damage there on the end there. That wasn't there before. It's still functional though. Very cool. And on regular mode, if you teleport for free back to the garage, that's all gets repaired for free. Of course it does. That's regular mode. On hard mode, you got to pay for all of that to be repaired and to have everything reshaped. That's what's cool. The wear and tear is permanently there until you pay money to have it fixed, as it should be. As it should be. I know fuel is free on regular mode. Did I mention that for those that don't play this game? That's one of the reasons why I was just like, forget this game. How dumb is that? Where's the challenge? Thank you everybody for watching. I wanted to talk a little bit. Is hard mode fun? Yes it is, but it gets monotonous. The fun parts are actually doing the rescue missions, but which happen by accident, and they just happen. They're gonna happen. Some of them rescue missions are going to get you to the point where you think you're gonna rage quit, because next thing you know, you've got 2 or 3 trucks flipped over. Which I was saying earlier had happened to me. I had 1 truck left. This was this same campaign. It was in Michigan, and I was down to like 1,500 bucks. That was it, and I didn't really have enough money to do any more recovery costs, which I did a lot of them, let me tell you. So that 4th truck went out there, it rescued the 3rd truck that flipped, and then the 2nd, and then the 1st, and had a sigh of relief. Because if that hadn't happened, this would have never happened. I would have quit SnowRunner altogether. That's the excitement of hard mode. That's the excitement. Is there's so much content. Let me tell you, there's a lot of content with this game. The graphics are amazing. This is just PlayStation 4 graphics. PlayStation 5 is even better. And they just recently did an update on the graphics. They're more amazing than they ever could have been. Believe it or not. Look at the detail. I could just go driving out there for sport, but I don't have that luxury. I could go and get stuck, teleport it back to the garage for free on regular mode. On hard mode, no, it has a consequence. I don't have that luxury. This truck is awesome. Some of the upgrades were free because I had found them with a scout, but the total investment was about $120,000. Could have been a lot more if I hadn't found those investments. I believe it has the best engine upgrade. I'm not sure. I believe it does. And then of course everything else, the raised suspension, the best tires. Yeah. So it's pretty cool. Look at the detail. This is the interior. Not much to see here, but it is modern. It looks like from like the 1980s, early 90s. Whereas the Tega is the same type of truck, but it's from a different era. As we can see the interior. It's a little bit different. Where it's got push buttons. Where you push buttons. It's from like the 1930s, 1940s. Mid-40s, late 40s. And then we'll look at the other one again. Which is pretty much the same truck, but it's just more modern. As you can see. Not today's times, but about the mid-90s, late 80s. Definitely. It's a little bit more powerful. And that flatbed down there is nice. It helps weigh down the back end. Everything matters. If you think something matters in this game, yes, the developers thought of it. Weight, the chassis, everything is into account. This truck's a little bit lighter than the Tega, but that what makes it help to not get stuck. It's heavy enough, but also light enough. It's that perfect sweet spot for this truck, for this type of environment. And I like it. It's the first time I've ever flipped it. Thanks for watching. As you can see, the game is saving. It saves for you. You don't save your game. It just randomly saves it. There's no rhyme or reason to it. It's not every 15 minutes. It's not every 10. Sometimes you'll see it save within 5 minutes of itself, depending on where you're driving. It's nice. But whatever happens, happens on hard mode. You either deal with it or start the game over from scratch. And that's the excitement of it. I only have $100,000 that I'm going to probably easily spend about $50,000 in fuel unless I can find more free fuel. I don't know. I don't know. That's what makes it fun too. I need to explore this map. It's huge. Appreciate your time. Leave a like and subscribe.